I definitely already knew that Jessica Reed Krause, aka House and Habit, was a problem. But now that I know that Jessica Reed Krause is a longtime friend of enemy of the channel, many enemies of the channel actually. Number one, Daphne Barak, the cousin of the former Prime Minister of Israel and associate of Jeffrey Ehud Barak. And she spent her New Year's partying with Peter Thiel. It really puts into perspective how much of a problem this woman actually is. For those of you who are not familiar with Jessica Reed Krause, this woman behind me wearing a Free Guislaine shirt, let me just give you a quick brief background. So Jessica Reed Krause goes by the username House and Habit, and she was a kind of like lifestyle mommy blogger who failed at becoming like a Joanna Gaines-esque page and defaulted into like celebrity gossip framed as fact-based independent reporting. Jessica Reed Krause covered the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case extensively, but her reporting was absolutely not unbiased. She definitely not even just leaned towards Johnny Depp's side. She was fully on Johnny Depp's side, associating, talking to people in Johnny Depp's camp, and was being very cruel to Amber Heard. Jessica has been covering the P. Diddy case. In general, Jessica kind of just pops up anytime there is a viral story going on with a celebrity involving the legal world, and she has even been involved heavily in covering Britney Spears' conservatorship. That's how a lot of people found her. In fact, Jessica Reed Krause even posted a blog post about how she recalled the day that her close friend Daphne Barak broke the story that Kevin Federline had allegedly told Daphne that Britney was taking substances. And Jessica Reed Krause wrote about how she recalled pulling up to Daphne's home during this media storm right after the story broke. We talked about this. Kevin Federline welcomed in Daphne Barak into his life, into the lives of his and Britney's children, and Daphne used those children as a weapon against Britney in the media while she was voiceless in her conservatorship. In hindsight, what's really disturbing is the fact that now that we know that Jessica Reed Krause and Daphne Barak are close friends, and Daphne Barak was getting close to Kevin and Britney's children on the inside, and Jessica Reed Krause was reporting and putting things together on the outside, it just feels very calculated. Jessica Reed Krause also attended the trial of Guislaine Maxwell, who we know is a longtime friend of her friend Daphne Barak. Like Daphne, Jessica Reed Krause has been a major advocate for not only Guislaine to be in better conditions in prison, but they have advocated for her to be free and that she is innocent, maybe even a victim in all of this. And while she advocates for Guislaine to be free, she also spends a lot of her time trying to pick apart the stories of the victims of Guislaine and Jeffrey and all the other co-conspirators and make them out to be liars, frauds, or just not credible. Jessica Reed Krause has arguably been one of the most outspoken voices against Virginia Giuffre in all the reporting that we've seen done on this case. She has discredited every part of Virginia's story while also holding connections to British royalty, Guislaine Maxwell, and dozens of other co-conspirators. I do not know how this woman sleeps at night now that Virginia Giuffre has taken her life. I don't know how she continues to post slanderous things about the victims and advocate for Guislaine. And the fact that she continues to do it when Virginia is no longer here to defend herself is beyond disgusting, shameful. And we know birds of a feather flock together, so Jessica Reed Krause likes to spend time with other folks who also enjoy discrediting people's trauma, like Alex Jones, a man who still to this day stands by his words when he said that Sandy Hook was a hoax. Jessica's even written about Alex Jones and how he was unfairly convicted by the parents of those whom he had slandered, who had millions of people believing that their children didn't exist, they weren't real, nor did they ever pass away. And all of these parents were just fake grieving their children. Jessica's also befriended Nicholas Tartaglione. I will link the video that I made about him below, but he was basically the ex-cop who was in prison with Jeffrey, who Jeffrey accused of assaulting him before Jeffrey was moved to the SHU. By the time that Jeffrey was put in jail, Nicholas Tartaglione was already 3 years into his sentence. He was spending life in prison for taking the lives of 4 people and burying them in his yard. 11 days after Jeffrey passed away, Nicholas was assigned a new attorney, despite the fact that his case proceedings were complete, and that attorney's name was Bobby C. Sternheim. And that same attorney, 11 months later, Bobby C. Sternheim became Guislaine Maxwell's defense attorney when she was arrested.
Begin speaking now.
Nick?
Hey, Jess.
Oh my God, did you hear the news?
No, what?
They just fired Maureen Comey.
Yes! Get out of here.
Yes, they just fired her. It just broke.
Oh my God, I want to cry right now. Why'd they fire her? Why?
I haven't even got to read. I'm driving in traffic right now. I was just getting my nails done.
Jessica Reed Krause is also friends with Tulsi Gabbard, who has been the subject of conversation over here, as Tulsi Gabbard is in a cult. Not just the regular MAGA cult, but an actual cult. And she's one of the most important figures when it comes to national intelligence. Jessica and Daphne actually have so much in common, it's actually eerie. Let's talk a little bit more about that. So both of these women were both very much women who leaned to the left, and they both had a very dramatic and very obvious and very visible flip to the right at their own respective times. For example, Daphne, she was very close friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton and many other politicians who leaned to the left. She donated to their campaign, she posted stories that flattered them, until 2016, the same year that her cousin Ehud Barak purchased her a home in cash in California, and she got a job working for the RNC, was the catalyst to her becoming a full-blown MAGAmite. And when it came to Jessica Reed Krause, for a very long time, she had very left-leaning, progressive values that she was not afraid to talk about. According to her, when the pandemic came, she did not like the fact that Democrats encouraged people to listen to the CDC, and they implemented policies to slow down the spread that were recommended by the CDC. That was just too much for her. She was one of those folks who thought the lockdown was akin to martial law. One of my favorite places to get news from, Mother Jones, actually clocked Jessica Reed Krause and how right around this time her posting became very much more conspiratorial than they ever have before. And in her writing, she became very sympathetic to Donald Trump. Okay, go to part 2. Now that you kind of have a little bit of a background of who this woman is, what she is about, I want to talk more about the slide down the alt-right pipeline that she has taken that is dangerous to all of her viewers and watchers.